from M&T Bank Stadium in downtown Baltimore, Maryland. This is the National Football League on CBS. Today it's the Oakland Raiders against the Baltimore Ravens. And after last year's stale 6-10 season, there's fresh air in Baltimore. And welcome back to Baltimore. Art Shell in his second tour of duty as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. He's an all-pro Hall of Famer, and he's looking for a better performance from his team. On the other sideline, Brian Billick is in his 8th year. His team 6-10 last year. Different squad, though. A healthy squad this season. Fourth meeting between these two teams. Ravens lead the series 2-1. The Ravens won the toss, and they've elected to receive the football. B.J. Sams is back deep, ready to return, and sending it away for Oakland, Sebastian Janikowski. Raiders, Ravens, and we're underway from the Charm City. Sams in his end zone, and he takes it out. B.J. Sams down the sideline, watch out! Sams with the block. Tried to cut it back and goes down at the 32. A 73-yard return. So that brings on Steve McNair to work with a short field, 3-time Pro Bowler, former co-MVP. The numbers last week, 17 of 27, 181 yards. He led the Ravens on a 14-play, 80-yard touchdown drive to start the game. And a look at his lineup. Ogden, 9-time Pro Bowler. He's been with Mulatalo and Flynn on the left side since '99. Vincent and Pashos. Backs and receivers, Jamal Lewis, healthy. Mark Clayton in his second year, he's better. Derek Mason played with McNair 8 years in Tennessee. First and 10 at the 32. Here's Jamal with an opening. And he gets to the 27-yard line. Tommy Kelly with the tackle. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders, let's take a look. Warren Sapp, a future Hall of Famer. Derek Burgess, 4 years in Philadelphia, 16 sacks last year for the Raiders, though. Let's take a look at the linebackers. They're really high on this kid Morrison out of San Diego State. Howard and Irons, who replaces Sam Williams. In the secondary, Tyrone Poole in for Nnamdi Asomugha, who has a foot injury. 2nd and 5 at the 27. Lewis's shoulder goes down. Tyler Brayton gobbles him up, and it's a 2-yard gain.
Well, Gus, it couldn't have started any worse for the Raiders. Gave up the big kick return, and then they gave up 6 yards on a first down run. They knew that it was important when you come into Baltimore in a home opener. The Raiders are going to have to withstand that opening emotional rush with Steve McNair being introduced, with the crowd being excited about a 1-0 start with a shutout last week against Tampa Bay. The Raiders have got to withstand this early rush by the Ravens to have a chance.
Ravens beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-0 on the road last week, snapping an 11-game road losing streak. Todd Heap, the tight end, goes out of bounds at the 20. Pushed out of bounds by Thomas Howard, 6-yard pickup.
We spoke to the Ravens, as I said, on Friday, Gus, and the defenders didn't know how to act. The Ravens came out, put together a 14-play drive, as you said, and they were looking at each other, go, 14 plays, over 9 minutes off the clock, and a TD? Wow. They knew that this was going to be a special year. They've got a chance for something to get back, for them to get back into the playoffs, and you see there is Billick. That's the first touchdown on the opening drive of the season in the team's history, and it happened last week.
First down and 10 at the 19-yard line. Lewis again. Jamal down the sideline. Jamal Lewis wrestled out of bounds at the 5, and the Ravens start this game popping. Stuart Schweigert knocks him out of bounds, but it's a 14-yard gain.
And the offensive line just caves in the defensive line of the Raiders. They push everybody to the right, and Lewis goes left. It's that simple. It ends up the defensive backs have to come up and make the play. There's 9 guys in the box. And that last guy coming up as you said, Gus, is Stuart Schweigert coming up from the secondary. They had everybody up to stop the run, and they couldn't get it done.
Daniel Wilcox with a good block on that run. 1st and goal at the Raiders 6, opening drive for Baltimore. Jamal goes down at the 2. Jamal Lewis, 18 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown against Tampa.
Well, this is the guy. I mean, he is a legitimate game breaker. This guy is a big, tough, physical runner. He had over 2,000 yards in 2003. Struggled with injuries a year ago, but you know what, Gus? When he is on, this team is very, very difficult to defend. And you add Steve McNair into that mix, you can't get this offense off the field.
Musa Smith comes in for Jamal Lewis. 2nd and goal at the 2. Here's Musa. And he will not get in. Goes down at the 1-yard line. Musa Smith stopped by Jared Cooper. Smith in his 4th year out of Georgia.
Well, I guess the Raiders wanted to show up with a larger dose of intensity to try and match the Ravens. And the Ravens have taken it after that big kickoff return and ran the ball right down their throats. They've had one pass out to the flat to Todd Heap, and the rest of it has been run, run, run. And the Raiders have their backs to their own goal line.
Smith stays in the game. 3rd down goal at the 1. Musa Smith. Flag on the play. He got in, but let's see. And it's a holding penalty coming up.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Jerome Boger is your referee today. Mike Flynn, the center, called for holding.
You'll watch right down, and you can't miss Flynn. He's the guy with the ball. 62 comes right out, tries to get the block right there on Robert Thomas and pulls him down. When you get your hands outside the arms of the defender, Gus, they'll call it every time, even if you're not really trying to grab onto him.
Great job by Robert Thomas, aggressively attacking Flynn. 3rd down goal at the 11-yard line. McNair in the shotgun. Jamal Lewis in motion out of the backfield. And the play clock is at 0.
No, they didn't get it off. They had a play with the large shift on. Jamal Lewis moved to the sidelines. They didn't get out of the huddle in time, and those plays take so long to get set up after the shift.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down. There's no foul for a false start because of the delay of game.
You see there, McNair knows he had to he's either trying to get Jamal Lewis to stop moving because he can't move, and McNair just knows it's just too late. And that's unfortunate for the Ravens. They had it all going their way with a 1st and goal inside the 5, and now with 2 penalties, it's 3rd and 15.
Demetrius Williams, the receiver, at the top of your screen. Mason at the bottom. McNair to the sideline. Caught Mason. He goes out of bounds at the 7. And here comes the field goal unit for Baltimore. Matt Stover needs 1 field goal to tie his personal best consecutive field goals made streak at 23, which he set while a member of the New York Giants from 94 to 95.
I'll tell you what, Gus, Matt Stover's been a good kicker, I think, in this league for since the late 50s. I mean, he's been around forever. Great kicker.
Stover got it up. And good. Ravens get on the board. They have to settle for a field goal. 10:38 to play in the 1st quarter. Baltimore 3, Oakland nothing. Ravens settle for a field goal. They go 8 plays covering 25 yards, held it for 422. The field goal set up by a 72-yard kickoff return by that man, DJ Sams. Baltimore ready to kick it away. Chris Carr back deep for Oakland. And he has it at the 8-yard line. Chris Carr crosses the 30 and gets close to the 35, a 25-yard return. Gary Stills with the tackle on special teams. And here comes Aaron Brooks, the head man for the Oakland Raiders offense. Welcome back to M&T Bank Stadium. The Oakland Raiders have the football, down 3-zip. Their first drive of the game. First down and 10 at the 34. Zach Crockett, Lamont Jordan in the backfield. Here's Lamont Jordan running. Tries to bounce it outside. He won't go anywhere. Dallas Thomas hauls him down. So the Raiders coming off a 27-0 loss on Monday to the San Diego Chargers. Aaron Brooks is their quarterback. His first year he spent in Green Bay, the last 6 in New Orleans. This is his first year in Oakland. Chad Slaughter starts today in place of Robert Gallery, who's out with a calf injury as their offensive line gave up 9 sacks on Monday. Backs and receivers, Randy Moss, one of the great ones. Lamont Jordan is coming off a 1,000-yard season. Second down and 11. At the 33. Lamont Jordan. And Jordan crosses the 35 and gets to the 36-yard line. Defensively for the Ravens, man, are they good. Trevor Price, 4-time Pro Bowler, comes over from Denver. Greg, and keep an eye on this rookie, Haloti Ngata. He is terrific because he protects that man in the middle. Ray Lewis, Scott had a great year last year. Dallas Thomas is a Pro Bowler. Chris McAllister, 60-yard interception, return for a touchdown against Tampa. Ed Reed is healthy. Samari Rolle can cover the best in the NFL. Third down 8 at the 36. They need to go to the 44 for a first down. Loose ball, fumble. Ravens have it just like that. Terrell Suggs with the fumble recovery.
Well, there you have it, Gus. The first time the Raiders want to drop back and throw it, they can't get the snap from center. Brooks dropped it, never had it. And just like that, the Raiders go 1, 2, 3 and out and don't even get a chance to punt the football. And for the second time in the first quarter, Gus, the Ravens are in Raiders territory without ever having to run an offensive play.
First down at the Oakland 35 for McNair. Mason in motion. Play action. McNair steps up in the pocket to the sideline. He finds his favorite target, Derek Mason, and Mason goes down at the 20. Stopped by Tyrone Poole, but it's a gain of 15.
You know, Gus, Steve McNair comes over to Baltimore from Tennessee, and he looks around and he says, "Hey, I know you. I threw you the ball over 400 times." And all of a sudden, he feels a little more comfortable. And it's just something that goes along with the way Steve McNair stepped into this offense, and all of a sudden it's like he's been there a long time. And that's really, really, it takes a special guy to get that done, Gus.
So first down at the 20. Clayton in motion. They give it to Lewis, and he goes down inside the 20 at about the 19-yard line. 2-yard pickup. Steve McNair, Derek Mason, as you mentioned, Steve, they're pretty familiar with each other. 8 years spent in Tennessee.
Well, you look around the league at the active duos, Manning and Harrison, of course, Green and Gonzalez in Kansas City, Bledsoe and Glenn on 2 different teams, New England and Dallas, and now McNair and Mason on 2 different teams in Tennessee and now in Baltimore as they continue to climb through those rankings. That's some pretty elite company, and it's great to have a quarterback brand new on your team that has so much experience and time behind him with a guy on the team.
Right now, though,
Timeout,
the Ravens struggling, trying to all get on the same page. Ryan Billick says, "Be cool, we're all right." 3-0 Baltimore.
A few moments ago, Steve McNair came off on the timeout, did something unusual, Gus. They gave him the headset to talk to Jim Fossil in the booth. You don't see teams doing that, but I think it's a very smart move.
2nd and 9 at the 19. McNair to the sideline. Todd Heath with the reception. Jim Fossil, former head coach with the New York Giants. Second year as the offensive coordinator here in Baltimore.
Really a good move. Let Steve McNair talk to the guy who's going to call the play, see what he's thinking so McNair knows what he's thinking. He knows what Fossil sees upstairs, so he knows what to look for on the field. I've always thought that that was a good move to give the quarterback the headphones and let him talk to the guy. Smart move.
3rd down 5 at the 15. They need to go to the 10 for a first down. Raiders showing blitz. McNair in the gun. To the sideline, caught, but not enough for the first down. Demetrius Williams with the reception in front of Fabian Washington. And there is a flag.
You'll see it just a quick out. You gotta know, you gotta get that. McNair throws that low and away, and that's what brings him back. That was an incomplete pass, but what Williams couldn't pull in.
And it's going to take Steve McNair, some time to really get comfortable in this offense.
Yeah, it is. And they had a kind of a week off last week. All they really wanted to do was get his feet under him. But they didn't have to do too much last week, but let's face it.
Was that the pass was incomplete. Also, we had illegal formation on the offense. Only 6 men line up on the line of scrimmage. Number 79 was uncovered. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the Ravens will attempt a field goal once again, but finishing your point.
Yeah, they didn't have to do too much last week. Their defense shut out Tampa Bay, so they got the opening touchdown, and then they could really play conservatively, but it's going to take time. You've seen them have trouble getting guys lined up correctly here today. That's a little rust. But you know what? With a defense like they've got, that's not too much of a bump in the road.
Brings on Matt Stover in to attempt a 33-yarder. Good already from 25 yards. It's up. Automatic. Ravens take a 6-0 lead. 6:41 to go in the first quarter from Baltimore. Yes, for more coverage this fall. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. 6:41 to play first quarter. The Ravens with a 6-0 lead. Chris Carr back deep. He stands at his own 2-yard line. From the 2. And he gets up to the 30. Tackled by Mike Smith, the 26-yard return. Aaron Brooks back on the field for the Raiders. Welcome back. Baltimore with the 6-0 lead. Raiders got to figure a way, Steve, to move the football.
8 of their 12 drives this season have been 3 and out. Gus, they got to find a way to stay on the field.
First down at the 29. Aaron Brooks fumbles the snap again, and the Ravens have it.
Well, you can see the look on Art Shell's face. I mean, Gus, there's just no excuse for that. You're a 7-year starter in the NFL. You got to get the snap from center. That's 2 in a row. And if you didn't get it, you just fumbled the last one when you're on the field. You got to go over and take some snaps.
Ravens have it at the 29-yard line. Jamal Lewis. Grant Irons with the tackle. Cleveland and Cincinnati going at it. Here's James Brown in New York.
Ex-Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, Cincinnati winning on the road last week at Kansas City. Went to that no-huddle offense, and it proved to be very effective. 2nd and 11 at the 30. McNair over the middle, caught, deep, and he goes down at the 30-yard line. Derek Gibson with the tackle. Houston is at Indianapolis today. Here's James Brown again.
Hudson, Steve Tasker.
Gus, I'll tell you, Indianapolis just doesn't miss a beat. You take away a great player like Edgerrin James, they don't miss him.
3rd down 7 at the 26. McNair in the shotgun. Underneath, caught, close to a first down. Demetrius Williams. And he has a first down. A 9-yard gain.
We spoke to the Ravens, and you talk to their defenders, and they say, man, Steve McNair, he just moved the chains last week. Moved the chains, moved the chains. It was unbelievable. And we talked to Steve McNair, and he says, hey, all I got to do is move the chains. To him, it was no big deal, but to this team, just keeping this offense on the field and being efficient has made all the difference.
Oakland has done a lot to help Steve McNair and the Ravens offense. First down and 10 at the 17. Jamal Lewis turns a corner, and he can't get outside. Ushered out of bounds by Thomas Howard. A loss of 2. Aaron Brooks on the sideline.
It looked like he got his finger jammed on that last snap. He came off holding his finger. Sometimes, let me tell you something, Gus, when they snap that ball, it comes up hard, and if your hand is not in the right position, it'll bend a finger the wrong way. He came off shaking it. I don't know if that was what happened on the first drive or if it happened on that last fumble, but they've got to get it together. Right now, the Raiders can't even get a snap from center.
Second down and 11 at the 18. McNair, short drop in the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Clarence Moore, who tried to go over the top.
Oh, man, I thought he pulled that in. What a great effort by Moore. Watch as he goes over the top, and this is a mismatch here. You see Poole, Moore is enormous. I mean, he's 6'6", and you see there the thought they had. Just throw it up and let him reach up and grab it like a rebound. And that's a height mismatch. What a great idea by the Ravens. And I thought he got it. I thought he got it.
He didn't get both feet in bounds, though. Tyrone Poole covering. The former New England Patriot. Third down and 11 at the 18. McNair 6 of 8, 47 yards. He's in the shotgun. To the sideline. Incomplete. Flag on the play.
That's a late flag out on the sideline right at the line of scrimmage.
Fabian Washington covering Derek Mason.
This is going to go against the Ravens.
Illegal formation, offense, number 79, not lined up on the line of scrimmage, has been declined. Fourth down.
Second time that's happened, and that's the right tackle, Tony Pashos.
Yeah, Pashos is cheating back off the line of scrimmage because when you're a tackle, you want to get as deep as you can to get that corner rusher, and he's working against Derek Burgess. And Burgess is a fast guy off the corner, and Pashos is trying to get a little edge.
Matt Stover in to attempt a 37-yard field goal. Good from 25 and 33. This one is up and perfect. 3 first-quarter field goals for Matt Stover, and the Ravens take a 9-0 lead.
Don't think that's not important. Yeah, the Ravens would love to have some touchdowns and be up 21-0, but you know what, Gus, with that field goal, they go up by 2 scores, 2 possessions, and that is a big margin for them. They've got to breathe a sigh of relief. And right there is interesting is Randy Moss talking it over with Andrew Walter, who played late last week in the loss to San Diego.
Andrew Walter went to Arizona State, 3rd-round pick by name. He was a prolific passer in college, surpassed John Elway's 77 Pac-10 touchdowns. Walter threw 35 touchdown passes, and as you mentioned, he came in the game against San Diego on Monday in the 4th quarter.
Well, like you look at him, the guy's 6'6", 230 pounds. You know, it's his 2nd year in the National Football League. He's not a green kid. I mean, this guy's ready to go out and give it a shot. Now, he may not be great, but you know what? He's standing over there saying, you know what? I can take a snap from center.
You're absolutely right. Nine nothing, Baltimore. Carr will start from the 4. He's got a lane down the sideline. Carr taken down. Beautiful run. He's tackled by Ronnie Purdue, and here comes Walter. And he'll have something to work with, a 45-yard return for Chris Carr. And Andrew Walter, the 3rd-round pick in his 2nd season out of Arizona State, 24 years old, replaces Aaron Brooks, who fumbled 2 snaps as the quarterback of the Raiders. Talk about an opportunity for a young man. 1st and 10 at the 49. They hand it off, Lamont Jordan, and he'll get to the 50. Bart Scott with the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Gus, if the Ravens could do it defensively, they would take everybody on their entire defense and stand right over the football and dare them to throw it now. You put in a young quarterback who you know is only half ready to play because he didn't get that many reps in practice. You want to see what he can do. And you can bet that the Ravens are licking their chops defensively to get in him.
Second down 9 at midfield. Crockett and Jordan in the I formation. Walter hands it off to Jordan with running room this time. And Lamont Jordan gets to the 47, a 4-yard pickup. Bart Scott with the tackle. Each week throughout the season, you can read what Phil Simms, Boomer Esiason, and Shannon Sharp have to say on NFL.com. You won't want to miss it.
Gus, you might not realize, but when a team changes quarterbacks, the first guys who know it are the defenders, because they get so used to looking into the quarterback's eyes. They look up and it's a different guy there. Everything changes. They're like, hey, 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 look, look. And it's a big, not only boost to their egos because they just got the other quarterback benched, but it's also a boost to their psyche. They're excited about having another quarterback.
Walter steps up in the pocket and is written down. Dallas Thomas, 7th year out of Southern Mississippi. A loss of 8. He was the Ravens MVP 1 year ago.
Well, Gus, this is how bad it is for the Raiders right now. It's an improvement that they get to punt.
I hate to say that, but you're absolutely right. Shane Leckler kicked an NFL best 4 punts inside the 20 last week. B.J. Sams back deep. Leckler driving this one into the end zone, and the Ravens will start from the 20, a 54-yard punt. The New York Giants are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly here. All right, JB, as for Aaron Brooks, he was pulled from the game. He has a right shoulder injury, and his return is doubtful.
That happens, Gus. A quarterback drops the snap, and he has to go down after it. And all those guys pile on top of him. And as you reach out with your arm, it's out there by itself, and guys will land on your shoulder. It happens a lot.
So for the first time, the Ravens will have to play with a long field. McNair over the middle, incomplete. That one intended for Mark Clayton. Clayton, in his 2nd year out of Oklahoma, coming off a terrific rookie season. 44 catches, over 470 yards, setting a rookie record. And a couple of touchdowns as well.
Man, McNair's probably thinking to himself, you know what, I got to get this ball on these guys. He's thrown a couple of passes that were catchable, but not great throws. He's going to have to settle down. He's got plenty of time. And I think a lot of it on that play particular was just a guy coming out of the route a little differently than he expected.
2nd down and 10. Jamal Lewis. He gets to the 25. Picks up 5. Tyler Brayton with the tackle. You have to tip your hat to this Raiders defense. They have played extremely well here in the first half.
Yeah, and they've played extremely well for about 13 minutes of the entire first quarter. I mean, they've been on the field all day, and this game is just getting started. I mean, they've been in their own end 3 out of the first 4 drives. This is the first time when they've actually been in the Ravens' end of the football field, and they've held them to 3 field goals.
Ravens have had the ball for 9 minutes and 46 seconds. The Raiders for 3 minutes and 43 seconds. 3rd and 5 at the 25. They need to go to the 30. McNair over the middle, incomplete. Ball intended for Daniel Wilcox, and the Ravens will have to punt it away.
And that's another throw by McNair that he wish he had back. He's got to get that up where they can catch it. Tough catches for him, even on those short throws. McNair just seems to be a little inaccurate in his throws today. You know, and I tell you, we saw him get introduced. It's a good possibility. He's just a little excited about the welcome he got here in Baltimore.
Chris Carr back deep. Carr to the sideline from the 23, makes the first man miss, and he gets to the 31 before being taken down. Corey Ivy with the tackle, 52-yard punt, 8-yard return. Tonight, the race begins. He's got some enthusiasm. That's a good sign.
Yeah, you got to have a guy who'll step in and think that and make the other guys believe they're going to get it done. Robert Brooks did not do that in those first couple of possessions.
First down. Lamont Jordan looking for a hole. And Lamont Jordan, no gain on the play. Stopped by Dewan Landry. 5th-round pick, rookie out of Georgia Tech, and they like him. He's the strong safety.
Yeah, you talk about him. I mean, how about this? You're Dewan Landry, and you get to play in a defensive backfield with Ed Reed, Chris McAllister, and Samari Roll. Those are the guys that get to teach you how to play defensive back. Dewan Landry is going to learn a lot this year.
2nd down at 11. Raiders may not get this play off. And Walter will allow the time to run out, and that's the end of the first quarter with the score: Baltimore 9, Oakland nothing. 9-0 Ravens with the lead as we start the second quarter. Sunday Game Center is live and the crowd is growing at CBS Sportsline. Follow every game with lightning fast scoring. Challenge a friend in Heads Up Fantasy Football and play against others in Trivia Tower. It's all free at CBSSportsline.com. 2nd and 11 at the 30. Andrew Walter replacing Aaron Brooks at quarterback for the Raiders. Rolls out of the pocket, throws across his body, has a completion. Beautifully done as Courtney Anderson hauls it in. Courtney Anderson with the reception, and it's close to a 1st down.
Well, there you see it, Gus. I mean, here he is. He's 6'6", 230, and good. And watch. That's why the Raiders believe this is the guy that's going to be their future. They like his ability. They like his size. They like his poise. And let's face it, he's stepping in to a beehive here today in Baltimore. And this is going to tell us a lot about what kind of guy he is.
About his character. Great opportunity for a 2nd-year player who put up spectacular numbers as a college player. Andrew Walter. And they're short of the 1st down. So that'll bring up 3rd down and less than a yard.
I'll tell you guys, as much as Art Shell's offense has struggled today, their defense has played pretty well. They've been in their own end under their shadow, their goalpost, but their offense has got to get it together.
Keep your eye on Walter. He's playing with great enthusiasm. And let's hope that that can ignite this offense to play better football.
Right now, I call a quarterback sneak and let Kevin Walter pick up the first down of the day. Andrew Walter.
3rd down and less than a yard. Walter's a big man, 6'6", 230.
Gus, give him the ball.
They hand it to Jordan. Helmets flying everywhere. And he didn't pick up the 1st down.
That helmet
belongs to Terrell Suggs.
And you're right, Gus, they didn't get it. They lost a half a yard. What a great surge up front by the Raven defense.
And now Art Shell has a decision to make, and he will send out the punt team. Not much of a decision.
And you watch it, look at the surge. The thing that kills a short yardage play, Gus, is penetration. If the defenders can get through, that blows the play up. And on that play, Nata got through on the low side and just blew it up. Great surge.
Leckler at the 25. Gets this one away to B.J. Sams, who starts from the 10. Sams breaks it back and goes down. Wow, bodies flying everywhere on special teams. Sams down at about the 22. Kirk Morrison with the tackle. 51-yard punt, 15-yard return. To M&T Bank Stadium here in downtown Baltimore. Awesome day. Ravens with a 9-0 lead. And the football now. 1st down and 10 at their own 25. And a flag. Looks like some movement on the line of scrimmage.
False start, offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the right tackle, Pashos, once again. He's going against Derek Burgess, as I said, and he is, you know, those linemen get up there and they don't know what, they know what the play is, but really they go out there, point at their guy, and that's the guy they concentrate on.
1st down and a long 15 at the 20. falling, gets up, throws down the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, that right there, Gus, is a catastrophe averted. As McNair just picks up the snap, and he just gets rid of it. And watch there, as you'll see 56, Burgess working against Pashos. Pashos got all he can do to run him deep, and McNair dodges the catastrophe, but still takes the hit to get it away.
And the thing that the Raiders do is they put their best pass rusher on the right tackle as opposed to the left tackle.
Well, because the right tackle is supposedly your second best tackle. The left tackle is supposed to be the big guy that's supposed to handle everybody.
Here's a draw play. Jamal Lewis make that Musa Smith, and Smith is wrapped up on the play. Michael Huff getting in on it, and it's a 30-yard gain.
You bring up an interesting point, Gus, because everybody in the league says, well, you want your best pass rusher come from the left so the quarterback can't see him. But you know what? I agree with the Raiders. That's overrated. The quarterback knows that guy's back there. Even if he can see Burgess coming around, he's going to see him a lot. I think it's even better to put your best guy on their second best guy and let the quarterback know and see it. Even if he steps away from it, he's not going to be throwing the football if he's running for his life.
Burgess with 16 sacks last year. He made it to the Pro Bowl for the first time. 3rd and 12 at the 23. And a timeout call by McNair. 9-0 Ravens with the lead. 12:29 to play here in the second quarter
Timeout,
from
Baltimore. Their second.
The lead. M&T Bank Stadium, truly, folks, one of the great places in the NFL to watch a football game. Unbelievable energy in this facility. 3rd down and 12 at the 23. McNair in the shotgun over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Mason, and the Ravens will have to punt it away.
And you see here, Gus, we've talked about how they're just a little bit rusty and they appear a little bit ragged offensively. McNair on this one had troubles following through. He couldn't step into the throw, was thrown off his back foot. You'll see the pressure coming into McNair's face, but you know, this is why you love him. He doesn't care. I mean, he throws it right in the face of Tom Kelly coming right at him. He stands in the pocket and tries to make the play. That's what a quarterback has to do.
Carr is back deep. This one angled to the sideline. He'll start from the 18. He receives a block. No flags. Beautiful special teams blocking by the Raiders as Carr gets it to the 39. Randall Williams almost knocks somebody out. 59-yard punt, 22-yard return. Here come the Raiders on offense. Ravens with the lead. Raiders take over, though, at the 40-yard line. Walter, short drop, in trouble, sidesteps to the sideline. Got it away, Alvis Whitted, out of bounds, though. He couldn't keep both feet in bounds.
Well, Gus, the Raiders have struggled thus far in the season with our offense. As you see there last week, they had first 9 possessions, they had 9 punts. And today it's a little bit worse, although in this game I think they're improving. They started out with 2 straight turnovers, then they actually got a chance to punt the football, and then last possession they almost made a first down. So maybe it is getting better in this game for the Raiders, but they have yet to make that first down, and they had their first incompletion right there.
Randy Moss has yet to catch a pass.
It's a bad sign when the officials get together and one of them's looking at his watch.
Please reset the game clock to 12:01. The pass was ruled incomplete, not out of bounds. 12:01. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, the official's got a lot to keep track of. And he's got the official watch on his wrist for the game. The clock in the stadium is not official. The one on his wrist is.
2nd and 10 at the 40. 3-receiver package. Courtney Anderson in motion from the bottom of your screen. They toss it. Lamont Jordan looking for running room. Nothing doing. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
Top, back to Gus and Steve.
That guy is so good.
He's led the AFC in receiving yards and catches the last few years. Walter sets up a screen, incomplete. And the Raiders will have to punt it away.
I'll tell you what, though, Gus. Andrew Walters is showing me a little something. He's got great poise. He does not seem flustered. He knows he's in a tough situation, but this offense seems to run a little smoother today, and he's only going to get better as the day goes on. And let's face it, he's going against a real defense.
Maybe the best in the NFL. Leckler from the 24. Sam's back deep at the 14. Leckler gets off a beauty, sending this one into the end zone. And the Ravens will start from the 20. A 61-yard punt.
Corey Ivy almost double thumped that punt right off.
And there is a flag on the play on the far side.
And we've talked about this a lot, Gus. If you can, I think you always make them punt it again. But the way they do it now, they give the Ravens a chance to either take the penalty at the end of the play or make them punt it again. I think with B.J. Sams and in this heat, make them punt it again.
Illegal formation, kicking team. Only 6 men line up on the line of scrimmage. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play.
So the Ravens offense will come on the field and start from the 25 instead of the 20. 11:07 to play in the second. Ravens up 9-zip. Family affair here in Baltimore today.
There you go, the Raiders, Rob Ryan on the left and Rex Ryan, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, on the right. And you know, their dad's watching with real interest, Buddy Ryan, who's the architect of that 85 Bears defense.
First down and 10 at the 25. Jamal Lewis stutter stepping, and he's wrestled down. Grant Irons in today for Sam Williams with the tackle. That's a loss of 1.
And the Ravens really, they want to get something clicking offensively. Steve McNair's, they've handled the game okay. They haven't made any mistakes, but they haven't made anything happen either. They've got to make some first downs aside from that first short drive they had where they had 1st and goal inside the 5. They haven't done too much, and Steve McNair's been a little erratic. It's time for the nerves to settle down. They've got to make something happen.
2nd and 11 at the 24. McNair, short drop. Todd Heap, incomplete. That one thrown too far. Michael Huff covering defensively for Oakland, and that will bring up 3rd down and long. 11 yards at the 24-yard line.
And you see there the Ravens come out with Todd Heap and 3 wide receivers, but actually they run it like 4 wide receivers. Heap gives them the ability to be very flexible, but the Raiders have really matched up very well. They love to play that man-to-man stuff no matter who's out there, tight end or running back. And of course, Rob Ryan has an idea of how to do it.
McNair has missed his last 6. Musa Smith in the game on 3rd down. McNair sets up deep, steps up, gets it away, and it's complete. Smith with the catch, but Kirk Morrison, the outstanding second-year player out of San Diego State, 3rd-round pick in 2005, makes the tackle.
And right here you'll see the Raiders get excellent pressure, and the problem is, Gus, they only do it with 4 guys. Sapp gets the pressure, but it was really team pressure. Burgess on the outside once again from the right, and then Warren Sapp wraps him up and makes him just desperately fling it forward. That was a great team pressure with just 4 guys. That's important.
Both the punters have been crushing the ball, averaging over 50 yards a punt. Koch sends Carr back to the 11. Koch looking for an opening, and he goes down at the 19. A 60-yard punt by Sam Koch. 8-yard return. Gary Stills with the special teams tackle. Now don't forget, turn your pop. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Andrew Walter remains in the game at quarterback. Aaron Brooks out with a shoulder injury. And a flag on the play. Some movement on the line of scrimmage. Maybe a false start against Langston Walker.
That looked like a double clutch snap.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, they call it on Randy Moss.
I don't know. There was a lot of confusion right there. There was just a hesitation right around the football with the offensive line and Jake Grove, the center. It looked like he started to snap it, stopped, and It wasn't just Randy Moss on that one, Gus. There was a lot of guys out there.
So first down and 15. Raiders have yet to pick up a first down in this game. Now Walter fumbles the snap and he jumps on it. Third fumbled snap of the first half.
And there you see Jake Grove. Now he's been the snapper for Aaron Brooks and Andrew Walters. And we'll see here what happens. And that ball goes right up between Walters' hands. That's his fault, not the center's fault.
Second down and 15. Walter with time to the sideline. Caught Randy Moss out of bounds at the 30, and that should be a first down. A beautiful throw by Andrew Walter, and Randy Moss picks up 16.
I don't know if
First down, Oakland.
Excuse me, guys. I don't know if I just saw what I saw. Randy Moss, watch at the end of this. Does he take his eyes off the ball and look at Chris McAllister? Right, he does. He glances back at McAllister thinking he might pick it off, and then can get his concentration back and catch it. Oh my gosh.
He's an outstanding talent. First down at the 31. Moss on the far side now. First down for Oakland. Walter, short drop. Ball caught. Alvis Whitted. Here we go. Andrew Walter starting to settle this offense down a bit. 13-yard gain. So a 16-yard gain. And now a 13-yard gain for the Raiders.
And I'll tell you what, Gus, the difference, Walter takes 3-step drop and it's gone. He doesn't try to drop back 10 yards, 7 steps. He drops back and the ball is out of there on time, and that's the difference.
Remember, the score is 9-0. Raiders need one good play to get back in this game. First down and 10. Moss in motion. Lamont Jordan running this time. And he gets to midfield. Ray Lewis with the tackle. Picks up 6.
And you said it, Gus, as dominating as the Ravens have been in the first half, they're only up by 9 points, and a couple of good plays by the Raiders, and all of a sudden it turns into a 2-point game.
And I don't know if the Ravens have been dominating or if it's that the Raiders have just been so bad.
Well, certainly early on in the first quarter, you're right. They turned it over twice in their own end on fumbles, and they can't get anything going. But you're right, it's up to the Ravens to take advantage of that, and they really have not been able to do that.
Second down 4 at midfield. Walter. And he is sacked by a blitzing Bart Scott. And Bart Scott out of Southern Illinois with his third sack of the season.
Yeah, and you see there, Lamont Jordan tried to get over and block him. He just couldn't do it. You see as he jumps around Walter, he can't get back around to block Scott. He tried to. He knew what he was supposed to do, but it was so difficult to do. And Bart Scott is a guy that the Ravens found out about last year. They didn't know, but now they do. He's a great player.
Third down and 14 at the 40. They need to go to the 46.5 for a first down. And Walter calls a timeout. And we'll stay right here. And Bart Scott, he's a very interesting story, as you mentioned.
Gonna fit in it and did everything he could to make sure he was there.
Having a terrific season. Third down and 14 at the 40. Ravens showing blitz. Walter sees it coming. Steps up. Oh, caught! First down, Oakland. Courtney Anderson found a soft spot. How about this kid, Walter? 16-yard gain, and he's got it cracking now for Oakland.
Look at him, what poise. He's not looking at the rush, and that's the first thing with a young quarterback does. He's got his eyes down the field. He feels it, just slides, and throws a rope for the first down. You never know what's going through a guy's mind, Gus, but it looks like the right things are going through his. He's cool and calm. I don't know if he's excited, but he looks cool.
Put me in, coach. First and 10 at the 44. Lamont Jordan, the deep man in the eye. Here's Jordan over the right side. Oh. And he gets blasted. Jarrett Johnson hit him. 2-yard gain. So Lamont Jordan, former New York Jet, coming off a career year.
Well, this is a guy that's a big power back, and he's just like all those other guys, like Jamal Lewis. He said, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And I'll tell you what, when you do, he's going to get better as the game goes on. He had a rough day last week, as did the entire team, but they need him to be great.
2nd and 8 at the 42 of Baltimore. Walter with time again. Incomplete. Intended for Randy Moss. Great defense by Chris McAllister. He reached around, didn't hold, and knocked the ball away.
And you see there, he got physical with Moss, and that's one of the things we spoke to him. You got to find out if he can stand being knocked off, and Randy Moss on that chance. It's a hand fight. It's whoever gets their hands up first to knock it off. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about two guys who are the absolute best going against each other. That's it. Number 18 for the Raiders and number 21 for the Ravens. That is the best two guys at their position in the league.
3rd down and 8 at the 42. Raiders 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. And a timeout call by Oakland. And we'll stay right here during the timeout. And don't forget, folks, next Saturday, Mike Shula's Alabama Crimson Tide.
And I know, Gus, none of us can tell the future, but if I look into my crystal ball down the road for the Raiders next week in Cleveland, I think I know who's going to start at quarterback.
Or next week.
Not next week in Cleveland.
I mean,
that's
2
where
weeks,
the Raiders.
in 2 weeks, rather.
That's right.
At Oakland against Cleveland.
That's right. In 2 weeks.
3rd down and 8. Ravens play Cleveland next week. 42-yard line for Walter. He rolls out of the pocket, throws. Is it caught? Yes! Inside the 20, Ronald Curry. And they may review this one to see if his feet were in bounds. But what a play.
The two officials ran together, Gus. And you'll see the one deep on the sideline.
1, 2.
Oh, he got it.
Tap dancing on the sideline.
The two
Curry.
officials up for a 22-yard gain. The two officials ran together, and they had a nonverbal conversation about did he catch it or not. The one deep you see at the top of your screen will run towards the spot. He says, no question, Curry caught that ball. The one at the line of scrimmage comes up and says, I don't know if he did or not, and the one deep overruled him.
3rd timeout, Oakland. 32nd timeout.
Best drive of the season thus far for the Oakland Raiders. And Ronald Curry has battled Achilles injuries the last couple of years, but he is definitely a talent out of the slot receiver position.
And I tell you, Gus, that was a great catch. You'll watch him here as he works inside and then breaks to the sideline. Behind the defender, that's Oglesby short. And then, of course, the safety comes in. That's Landry getting there just after the ball, and that is right there a good catch.
There's Ronald Curry. Played in only 4 games last year. Make that 2 games last year. 5th season out of the University of North Carolina. And how about this young man, Andrew Walter? 5 of 8, 77 yards. He's hit 4 of his last 5 for 67 yards. 1st down at the Baltimore 20. Lamont Jordan, the lone setback. They give it to him. He's got blockers, lowers his shoulder, keeps running and gets out of bounds at the 16. Evan Oglesby with the tackle. Now the Raiders starting to step it up a little bit.
They really are. I mean, this is as good as their offense has looked at any point in their first 2 games. And Lamont Jordan, thanks to those throws by Walter, finds a little running room finally. And they've got to stay balanced through the Raiders. Jordan can do his part, but he needs some help in the passing game. And finally, Andrew Walter has given it to him.
11th play of the drive that started at the Oakland 20. And a whistle and timeout called by the Ravens.
3rd charge timeout, Baltimore. 30-second timeout.
Both teams out of timeouts. The Raiders have been sloppy, but so have the Ravens, Steve.
Yeah, particularly offensively. They just haven't been able to connect. You see they're going down inside on a holding call. They've lost a 1st and goal. The pressure starts to get to McNair, and he's been having trouble finding his receivers. Been off the mark. He's had a couple of very nice catches early, and you see there on a 3rd down, the Raiders are getting pressure. The Ravens have not been able to take full advantage of the early ineptitude of the Raiders offense.
And this is usually how it happens in the NFL. You talked about it yesterday, an experience that you had when you were with Buffalo. The Raiders play lousy week 1. They come in here to Baltimore, and now with 3:53 remaining, they're still in this game here in the first half.
Now, they're pros, believe me, Gus. They don't get to this level without having a heart that bounces back from getting broken.
2nd and 7 at the 17. Moss, the motion man. Here's Walter. Steps up, wants to run, and goes down at the 15.5-yard line. Justin Bannon with the tackle, a 1-yard gain.
And it was a lucky thing for the Ravens that Bannon tripped him up, because Walter was going to have a little room. You see here he slips on the plant. He gets up right there. He decides to run, and Bannon just gets him. It's a nice heads-up play by the young quarterback. Even though it wasn't much, he got back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6 at the 16. Raiders need to go to the 10 for a 1st down. Randy Moss, the receiver, at the top of your screen. Walter drops back, throws in the end zone for Moss. Incomplete. Chris McAllister there. And the Raiders will have to settle for a field goal.
And that was a pretty heads-up play. It ended up being by Randy Moss. Walter's just going to ask him to give him some help. He threw this up. He had pressure, and you see Moss there just getting a piece of McAllister's arm to make sure he didn't pull that play in. That's a heads-up play by our veteran receiver. Now Walter just asked him to make a play, and he couldn't do it.
Sebastian Janikowski in for 34-yarder. It's up and good. And the Raiders are on the board for the first time this season. That young man, Andrew Walter, with a very solid drive. He settles for 3, but his confidence is growing, and this offense's confidence is growing.
And all right now,
he knows how to throw the football if you give him time. So Sebastian Janikowski will kick it away. B.J. Sams back deep, hovering around his goal line. 13-play drive for the Raiders, 64 yards, and they held it for 6:33. That defense should be well rested. As Janikowski drives this one, Sams will bring it out of his end zone. And Sams crosses the 30 and gets to the 35. A 37-yard return. Stuart Schweitzer
feeling like they're getting some help, and things are not as bad as they once seemed. Now they're ready to come out and play some football.
1st down at 10 at the 35. Jamal Lewis. And Jamal Lewis gets to the 38. Tommy Kelly, defensive tackle, with the stop. There's Rex's clean cut.
I think one of them, it's funny, they are contrast.
Jamal Lewis again. Oh, Jamal Lewis gets to midfield. Schweigert with the shoestring tackle, but it's a gain of 11. And that should take it. Ravens by 6. We want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing today's aerial coverage of all the drama below. Look for Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Ravens have it at midfield. 1st down.
Hey, watch bring to the flat. Bring to the flat for me. I'm coming to the flat.
McNair to pass. Over the middle. And it's caught. Jamal Lewis. Make that Musa Smith down the sideline. And he goes out of bounds at the 20. Tyrone Poole chasing him out of bounds. But Musa Smith with a 30-yard run.
Because whenever you're playing offense in the NFL against a really good defense, and the Raiders are playing good, all you want to do is have a guy make a play. That's all you can hope for. You're not going to be consistently good against a defense that's playing well, but if you can find a guy that'll make a catch, make a guy miss, and then run like Musa Smith does, that's what you're trying to do, and that's what both these offenses are looking for, a guy to step up and make a play.
Musa Smith spent most of the last 2 years recovering from a broken leg, and that ball is tipped and caught by Derek Mason. A 10-yard gain. Ravens quickly to the line of scrimmage. No huddle offense now. Jamal Lewis comes back in. No timeouts. Steve McNair in the shotgun. He's got Jamal Lewis right next to him. Here's McNair. Bounces out of the pocket with time. In the end zone, incomplete. McNair getting rid of it. Chased down by Warren Sapp.
That was a smart play by McNair, running away from the pursuit. And watch Warren Sapp. This is the guy that's been around a long time. Chasing. Finally jumping on him, and that's not a late hit at all. That's a good play by Warren Sapp. You don't see a lot of guys with his experience running that hard on a hot day. Got to come off and take a rest after that, though.
Second down and goal at the 10. Demetrius Williams and Mason split wide to the top of your screen. Clayton is the receiver at the bottom. McNair pumps over the middle. Mason with the catch at the 5. Turns it up! And he's down at the 1. Down at the 1.
Gus, that's what I'm talking about, making a play. That should have been a reception for no gain, and Derek Mason stays with it and makes a great spot down close.
Jamal Lewis, the single setback. McNair, the end zone, touchdown, Todd Heath. I think Steve McNair is finally getting the offense.
That's why they wanted Steve McNair. They didn't want anybody else. They didn't want Dante Culpepper. They didn't want Drew Brees. They didn't even want Matt Leinart. They had their eyes on one guy the whole offseason, and that's him, Steve McNair, and that is the reason.
McNair leading the Ravens down the field. That was his 158th career touchdown pass. Stover in to attempt the extra point. And the Ravens take a 16-3 lead on a 7-play, 65-yard drive. They got in the end zone in 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Right here after the great play by Mason to get it close, McNair just lobs it up. I mean, you can't defend that. It happens so fast, and unless you turn around and get lucky, it's going to be a touchdown. You're thrown to a 3-time Pro Bowl tight end who doesn't drop anything. And Steve McNair, just a little flip, and it's a touchdown.
I tell you what, folks. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Those will be some games to watch this year.
I'll tell you what, bring your own helmet if you're going to watch that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, because you got to get your head bumped.
They finally landed a quarterback in Baltimore, and he is special.
Offensively, they'd weathered a lot of storms that went against them early on, and now the Ravens really put a hurting on them with that touchdown.
Here's Carr from the 5. And Carr drilled at the 23. 16-3, a very familiar score for Ravens fans and for Raiders fans. Let's go back. 2000 AFC Championship game.
Hey, who's
Shannon
that?
Sharp, our guy.
Yeah, there he is.
Back when he could run. The Ravens won the game 16-3 and ended up defeating the New York Giants in the Super Bowl.
Shannon
but they
Sharp
won at Oakland.
Tell you what, that was the only touchdown in that game, too, that one Shannon Sharp scored.
First and 10 for the Raiders at the 24. Walter hands it off. Lamont Jordan. And Jordan tripped up as he crosses the 25 up to the 26-yard line by Terrell Suggs.
And, of course, the Raiders and the Ravens, neither one have any timeouts left, so the Raiders are just going to take their time, let the clock run down, and they're going to take it to the house trailing by 13 in the first half.
Andrew Walter proved something in that first half.
He certainly did. He took a bad situation and gave the Raiders just a little bit of hope.
So Art Shell has something to build on. We're at halftime. The score 16-3. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.
Balanced, but the rushing yards, the Raiders need to get it going a little bit better. Jamal Lewis got most of his yards on that last drive. And then you just see the Ravens are better offensively. And the thing that killed them, the Raiders, was those 2 turnovers down in their own end. It set up the Ravens to get a couple of field goals. The Raider defense stepped up big and held them to those 2 field goals. And really, that's the difference. Those 2 turnovers early on is the difference in this game, or at least the big difference.
Andrew Walter came in for Aaron Brooks after Brooks fumbled the first 2 snaps in their first 2 possessions. And he proved that he does have some talent. He had poise. Let's see what he can do as we start the second half. Carr from the 10. Carr bounces it outside. Gets to the 40. The 45-yard line. Chris Carr has had an awesome ball game so far. He returns that with 37 yards. Pushed out of bounds by Jerome Sapp.
Yeah, he's been one of the bright spots early on. Aaron Brooks really struggled, though. You'll see here the fumble on the first 3rd down, and then the very next snap on the next series, he fumbled that one as well. And I think somewhere in there is where he got his shoulder hurt and had to come out of the game. But Andrew Walter didn't miss a beat. He has come in, and here as you see him in the second half beginning, he has been a spark.
First down and 10 at the 47. Walter throwing on first down, and he gets sacked. Wow. Major heat, Terrell Suggs. A loss of 8.
Well, and there you go. Walter, you saw him. He wanted to throw it, and he just couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger. There was no separation in the secondary. And right there, the ball needs to be gone because Suggs is right on him. That's the problem. If you're going to drop back 7 steps, the ball has to go.
Langston Walker, the right tackle, unable to hold Terrell Suggs off. 3rd sack of the day for the Ravens. They give it to Jordan, and he's stopped by Kelly Gregg.
Well, I'll tell you, Gus, the crucial drive of the game for both clubs, and usually in every NFL game, is that first drive after halftime, because your coaching staff has a chance to get an idea of what their team you're facing is going to do against you. You see Lamont Jordan limp off. We'll keep track of that. But this is a crucial drive for the Raiders. You know that the Ravens have made defensive adjustments. Do the Raiders have an answer?
Zach Crockett in the backfield. 3rd down and 18 at the 39. They need to go to the Ravens 43 for first down. Walter rolling out of the pocket. Sets up the throw and is sacked again at the 35. The 4th sack of the game. Trevor Price this time. The 4-time Pro Bowler in his 10th season, who signed as a free agent from Denver.
Walter had no options. There were 2 guys in the pattern. Randy Moss was on the side he ran away from. On the side he was at, Aldous Whitted couldn't get open. 2 guys in the pattern, and he got sacked. That's not good for the Raiders here early in the second half.
Leckler in to punt it away. He stands at the 20. This one off the side of his foot. Sams allows it to take a bounce, and it goes out of bounds inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. A 47-yard punt. Coming up, Steve McNair and the Ravens on offense. Start the 3rd quarter. Baltimore now with the football at their own 17. Jamal Lewis, the lone setback. And they give it to the big fella who's wrestled down, met in the backfield. Terrific job by Grant Irons, who's playing in place of Sam Williams, who's out with an ankle injury. Their outside linebacker. That's a loss of 1.
Yeah, Grant Irons, a guy out of Notre Dame, really a physical presence out there. He is big and strong. You walk by him, Gus, he's a football player. And he's exactly the kind of guy you see there, 6'6", 285. There's no mistaking. Grant Irons is a great football player. He is a physical guy that has a lot of ability, just waiting for his opportunity.
Father played for the Raiders, 2nd and 11 at the 16. McNair under pressure, over the middle, incomplete, as he skips that one to Mark Clayton. Tyrone Poole covering.
McNair's really struggled today throwing the football down the field. He's bouncing it in and he's off the mark. He's throwing it behind or ahead or just off the mark of where receivers are coming out of their breaks. And on that one, he one-hopped it in. And you can see he stands in the pocket, has no problem doing that, but he's got to step into the throw and get it out there. He is just missing his receivers.
3rd down and 11 at the 16.
Maybe he needs to think everything's a 2-minute drill.
And the shotgun. Ravens are 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. McNair, and he's wrapped up and sacked at the 5. Ha ha! Warren Sapp gets to him. And the old man can still play in his 12th season out of Miami.
Yes, he can. Warren Sapp, and that was a pro sack. I mean, McNair held on to it for just a hair longer. The Raiders only bring 4 guys. You see Sapp breaking through a double team by Ogden and Mulatalo. They get confused and he just hangs in there. Warren Sapp dropped 25 pounds for this season, and you can tell he's playing right about 300 pounds, and you can tell he can move.
Koch sends it away, end over end kick. Carr fields it. He's at midfield looking for one block. Flag on the play, goes backwards, and he goes down. Corey Ivy with the tackle on special teams, a 47-yard punt and a 2-yard return.
We'll see what the flag is. I think this is going to go against the Raiders. Still, even with that, they're going to have good field position.
During the return, holding, return team number 36. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
That's Derek Gibson. Warren Sapp played in the first 10 games last year, missed the last 6 with a shoulder injury, and he is proving that he is as healthy as they need him to be. Welcome back. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 39. Justin Fargas in the game now in place of Lamont Jordan, and Fargas maybe a yard on the play. Haloti Ngata with the tackle. Ray Lewis in as well. And Ray Lewis had a torn hamstring last year. Played in only 6 games. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler, and that was the difference. They didn't have that father figure, so to speak, on the defense. The leadership wasn't there, especially when Ed Reed bounced in and out of the lineup because of an ankle. They're both back this season. 2nd and 9 at the 40. Fargas remains in the game. Crockett is his fullback. Walter, play fake. Steps up. Underneath. Picked off! Sugar Ray! Down the sideline. Daddy's home.
You want to know why Ray Lewis is so good? He steps up into the hole, stops the play on 1st down, and then he's 20 yards down the field in pass coverage, leaps into the air and tips this ball to himself and gets up and returns it for 26 yards. Not very many guys in the league can do both of those things. Stuff the run on 1st down, drop that deep into coverage on 2nd down, and then return the ball.
3rd turnover forced by the Ravens. 1st down at the Oakland 32. McNair down the field. Incomplete. Intended for Clarence Moore. No flag on the play. Tyrone Poole covering.
You talk about Ray Lewis and what he means. I mean, you got a sense of it on that last play, but right there, you can put it into statistics. You know, you see the points per game with and without him, the rush yards a game their defense allows, and the pass yards a game. But let me tell you something, guys, you and I both know it's more than numbers. He makes everybody better. He's like a father out there, and his kids want to play well for him.
Musa Smith running. And Musa Smith goes nowhere. Lance Johnstone. Good defense. Tell you, this Raiders defense, folks, I can't say it enough, came to play football today.
They really did. I mean, they've had to overcome some bad breaks, 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles deep in their own end, and then the interception you just saw. The Raiders have been up against it defensively the whole game, and they have shown up big.
3rd down, 15 at the 37. They need to go to the 22 for a first down. Steve McNair in the shotgun. Todd Heap in the slot at the top of your screen. McNair down the field, almost picked off. Tyrone Poole had it right in the breadbasket, and he couldn't hold on.
I'll tell you what, the Ravens got the ball just inside field goal range. It would have been a 51-yarder if they'd have kicked it on first down, and now they have no chance. The Raiders pushed them out of field goal range on those first 3 downs. Great job by the defense of the Raiders, and the Ravens do not capitalize on a great turnover.
Koch standing at the 48. Carr is at the 10. Koch pops this one high in the air. Beautiful. Unbelievable.
Gus,
terrific special teams play, Ronnie Prude.
Gus, that is how it's done. Make them go the length of the field.
Welcome back. Ravens with the 16-3 lead as they back the Raiders all the way up to the 4-yard line.
Turns into a long, long football field, Gus, when you start inside your 5-yard line.
Lamont Jordan back in the game. At tailback. Here's Jordan. Maybe a half-yard as he gets knocked backward. But the reason the Raiders are starting from the 4 is because the Raiders allow the Ravens to play some great special teams.
You see there Frank Gans Jr. You see that nick on his forehead. Special teams coaches have always been an emotional group. You see there's the guy that got that, ouch, a headbutt. Wait till a guy takes his helmet off, coach.
Ronnie Prude giving him a headbutt. 2nd and 9 at the 5. Walter throwing out of his own end zone. Over the middle, incomplete. Ball intended for Courtney Anderson.
And hit him on the knee.
And it was almost as if he wasn't ready for it.
The ball was right on. It was a good throw. You got to turn around and catch. He wasn't expecting the ball that much, and that's what happens. Sometimes, Gus, receivers go out there, and they don't expect the ball to be thrown to them. That's dangerous. That ball pops right up in the air inside your 10-yard line. And the Raiders dodge a bullet.
3rd down, 9 at the 5. Walter steps up, and he's sacked in the end zone. Loose ball, flag on the play, and it looks like that will be a safety, yes.
Oh, there's a lot of things going on this play, Gus. There's a flag outside at the 2-yard line, so they might have had a hold at the line of scrimmage. They might have had a fumble on the sack, although they're calling him down, but the officials let the play run.
Holding, offense number 66 is declined. The result of the play is a safety.
Langston Walker has really struggled today. A safety, and the Ravens take an 18-3 lead.
Because, in my opinion, it's not a good idea to take a deep drop in your own end zone because you've got no chance. And that is a safety, no question. He was down and the ball comes out.
Coach!
Sacked in the end zone, and the Ravens go up 18-3. And now we'll punt it away. Shane Leckler punting from the 20. B.J. Sams, flag on the play, starts from the 13. B.J. bounces it outside and is taken down at the 26. A 25-yard return, Rashard Lee with the tackle on special teams.
Offside, kicking team, number 89. The 5-yard penalty was added to the end of the run. First down.
Ronald Curry, offside.
And there you have it. 4 sacks allowed, an interception, 2 lost fumbles, and a safety. That's after allowing 9 sacks a week ago. Offensively, the Raiders have just not shown up yet this season offensively. They cannot get it together.
First down and 10 at the 43. Jamal Lewis back in the game. And a flag. Lewis, 12 carries, 41 yards so far.
False start. False start. Offense, number 33. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Justin Green, the fullback.
He didn't have anything to say because he can't see behind him.
Second false start of the day for Baltimore. First down and 15 at the 38. McNair, short drop, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Turdell Sands, 4th-year player out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, got his hands on the football, number 90.
You can see this Raider defense refusing to give in. Despite the position they've been put in on a number of occasions today, they are playing hard and they're giving their team a chance to stay in it. There's no question though, Gus, sooner or later, they're gonna need some help.
Sands, 6'7", big fella. Second and 15 at the 38. Musa Smith back in the game. He's great receiving out of the backfield. McNair wants to run. Steve McNair, and he will not pick up the first down. He gains 13. Kirk Morrison with the tackle. He needed 15, and he's short. So let's see what the Ravens elect to do. Actually, that brings up 3rd down and 2, pardon me, at the 49.
Passing. Not too many guys are able to say they did that.
Jamal Lewis lines up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. They throw underneath to Mason, and Mason stretches forward. Poole tackles him, looking for the first down. He picks up 5.
And that was a nice play by a veteran receiver. Mason got just enough for the first down. And that's what this offense needs, Gus, and that's what Steve McNair can do. He's got to find it. And this is a pass that's right on the money. We've seen him miss guys all day. That's one where he didn't miss, and it gave him the first down.
Last year, Mason broke the franchise's single-season receiving record, 86 catches for over 1,000 yards. First and 10. Jamal Lewis starts, and Jamal picks up 9. Gets to the 36.5.
Yeah, sooner or later, Jamal Lewis is going to find a crack in the defense. His feet are so quick, and he's so light on his feet and has such good balance. You see how fast he is. He never seems to lunge or take a big step that gets him off balance. He just keeps pushing forward. If you're going to tackle him, you got to get him on the ground because he's not going to go down without a fight.
And he's healthy. Had off-season ankle surgery. Second down and 1 at the 37. Play fake. McNair steps up in the pocket and gets drilled. At the 45, Warren Sapp again. His 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And I'll tell you what, the Raiders just didn't buy the play fake. They didn't care if he faked it to Jamal Lewis or not. They didn't think he was going to hand it off, and Sapp hits McNair right in the chops.
We have a sideline warning against the Oakland sideline. This is their first warning against the Oakland bench area.
That's Rob Ryan. He's got a lot of intensity. Warren Sapp came into this game with 84.5 career sacks, 3rd most all-time by a defensive tackle. He has 2 today. He went to the Pro Bowl every year from 97 through 2003. 3rd down and 8 at the 44. McNair again in trouble. Pete with the grab, but he won't pick up the first down as Thomas Howard knocks him out of bounds, and Steve McNair.
And the pressure of the Raiders is taking its toll. As you got a player down, looks like
Offside, defense, number 56, lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
That's Derek Burgess.
And you see the guy in the backfield of the Ravens who's down. That's Jonathan Ogden, who is...
He's gone to 9 straight Pro Bowls.
Yeah, one of the great offensive left tackles of all time.
We'll show you the replay of what happened to him right after this play. 3rd down and 3 at the 39. Musa Smith in the game at tailback. Mason, the motion man. McNair tipped at the line of scrimmage. Turdell Sands again, his second deflection at the line of scrimmage. And the Ravens will have to punt. Here's what happened to Jonathan Ogden.
Watch Ogden's right leg as Warren Sapp comes around. His left leg whacks into it and actually hyperextends his knee. It's just one of those things that happens in football when you're running through traffic and guys start flying around. It was totally unintentional, but that's football.
Sam Cook pops this one in the air again. And Carr with the fair catch at the 15-yard line. A 24-yard punt. 18-8. Back to Baltimore after this. Today's aerial coverage. The blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. Warren Sapp has had a terrific game. He's trying to keep his guys fired up on defense. But defense not the problem in Oakland. Offense is the problem. The Raiders have to figure out how to protect the quarterback and move the football. 1st down at their own 15. Lamont Jordan in the backfield. Here's Jordan with a hole. Jordan at the 25, and he goes out of bounds at the 30. Picks up a 1st down. Nice piece of running. Chris McAllister knocks him out of bounds, 15-yard run. And Jordan running through a huge hole on that right side.
And it looked as though Walter changed the play or the protection right at the line of scrimmage. You saw him give the signal right before the snap of the ball, and there was a slight shift in the O-line. That was a smart play by Walter, seeing something in the defense that gave his team a chance.
Longest run of the day for the Raiders, 15 yards. 1st down at the 30. Jordan again. And Jordan gets to the 33, tripped up by Terrell Suggs. He gains 3 yards.
You know, you forget about, Gus, we're deep into the 3rd quarter of this game, and it's as though the Raiders finally remembered they had a running game they could go to. They've been trying to get Andrew Walter to throw the football all over the field. Lamont Jordan is a guy they've got to depend on. They're still in this game. There's no reason to go into a pass-happy offense.
Jordan, 15 carries, 34 yards. 2nd and 7 at the 33. Walter to throw it to the sideline. Randy Moss with the grab, and Moss dragged down from behind at the Ravens 49. Bart Scott with the tackle, but it's a 17-yard gain.
Well, you notice what I notice here, Gus? This route's only about 12 yards long, and they completed it. And then Moss, being what he is, turns it into a nicer gain. I mean, get the ball to that guy.
2 catches, 33 yards for Randy Moss. 1st down at midfield. Jordan lowers his head, gets to the 45, picks up 5. Ray Lewis.
This is what we were expecting to see from the Raiders offense from the opening bell of the season. Lamont Jordan, Randy Moss, Lamont Jordan, Randy Moss. And this is a team also that doesn't have one of their other weapons that we spoke about.
Jerry
Porter. I mean, this is the kind of offense they want to run, but the key is they've got to get the ball to Moss now. Don't let him run 40 yards. Get it to him now.
Justin Fargas in the game now. Moss and Jordan on the sideline. 2nd and 5. And that is the 4th fumbled snap of the game. for the Oakland Raiders. 2 by Aaron Brooks, 2 now by Andrew Walter.
Well, it's really the story of their season at this early point in the year, Gus. They are not good enough to overcome their own mistakes.
3rd down and 8 at the 48. Raiders 2 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Rashard Lee is checked in the backfield. Moss, the intended receiver, and a flag on the play, and this will go against McAllister. Moss had run 5 yards, and McAllister made contact.
Yeah, and McAllister was hot when he saw that flag.
Illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Now you're allowed 1 chuck within 5 yards. Anything deeper is not allowed. And that's a good call. You can't do that. He ducked his head, put his hands up, and gave Randy Moss a shot, and that was about 9 or 10 yards down the field.
I think McAllister gave him that shot. He may have felt that he was getting ready to get deep.
If he, yeah, you're right.
That was a double move, wasn't it, by Randy Moss?
Might be a veteran move.
That's right.
I may get the penalty, but I'm not going to get the touchdown.
That's right. 1st down and 10 at the 43. Only McAllister knows. Fargas in the backfield. Williams in motion. Here's Walter to throw. Steps up down the sideline. Oh, he threw a nice ball. Alvis Whitted calls it in. And the Raiders are in business. Steve Tasker, I like this kid, Andrew Walter. That's a gain of 22.
I see what you see, Gus. I really do. You're right. This is a nice route by Whitted. The ball gets right on time. And watch how Walters, he stands in this pocket. Now, he ends this play. He doesn't know whether he completed it or not. He has to get up and take somebody's word for it.
Adalius Thomas let him have it on the release. 1st down at the 22. Lamont Jordan in the game at tailback. Here's Jordan. He gets inside the 20 to about the 18. 3.5, 4.
You know if they're going to get the run. They don't know if they're going to get the pass, and it's just more difficult to get to the quarterback if you're hesitating with the run game.
Jordan, 17 carries, 42 yards. 2nd and 7 at the 19. And Walter calls a timeout.
Timeout, Oakland. 30-second timeout.
1st timeout called by the Raiders here in the 2nd half.
You know, even when he was forced to take that timeout, you can see the disgust on his face. He doesn't like it when he does something he doesn't plan. Walter came off the field disgusted with himself about not being able to get that playoff. And you like to see that as a quarterback. You got to have high expectations if you want to make it in this league.
Right now, Art Shell having a conversation with his offensive line.
I'll tell you what, that's unusual. Art Shell is not an emotional guy. And he was lighting a fire under those guys right there.
And Art Shell told us when we met with them yesterday that it's very simple for his offensive line. He can talk about scheme all day long, but the key is block your man. 2nd and 7 at the 19. Raiders offensive line doing a nice job on this drive. Walter. Loose ball. Picked up. Watch out! Kelly Gregg! Look at him! Down the sideline! Kelly Gregg! Still good! Hands it off to Ray Lewis. What a play! Get the oxygen tank! Kelly Gregg!
He missed the last chance for gasoline sign and tried to make it all the way across the desert.
Terrell Suggs stripping the football from Walter, and watch Kelly Gregg pick him up and put him down.
There's no question this is a fumble right there. No question. Gregg scoops it up and takes off, and the Raiders end up chasing him. Watch as this play develops down the sideline. Somehow, someway, Gregg picks this up, and he's going to pass this off to Ray Lewis right behind him. Watch, Ray's yelling at him. He's yelling, and look, Gregg hears him. Then Lewis just steals it off.
What a play! How about that? So McNair has it. First down and 10 at the 15. Jamal Lewis. Nope.
I'll tell you, Gus.
Times this afternoon. 2nd and 8 at the 13. Jamal Lewis following his block. And he gets close to the 5. Stuart Schweigert with the tackle, the safety. 8-yard pickup. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter. The Baltimore Ravens on top of the Raiders, 18-3.
Third quarter.
Take a look at the scoring by quarters. Ravens knocking on the door right now. 3rd down 1 at the 6. Jamal Lewis, first down. Tyler Braden with the tackle, and Jamal Lewis is a great runner, but I think the most stylish runners on this Ravens team are their 2 defensive tackles. Kelly Gregg picked up one and went 59 yards. Last week, Haloti Ngata, their first-round pick, 12th overall, had his first career interception, returned it 60 yards to the Tampa Bay 9. There's Ngata.
That's right, and I'll tell you what, Kelly Gregg's still looking around. He can't find his breath. He's looking for it. He can't catch it yet.
And between the 2 of them, that's 650 pounds. First down and goal at the 5 for the Baltimore Ravens. Jamal Lewis. And he's wrestled down at the 4. And Taj Hawthorne and Derek Gibson combining on the tackle.
Former high school state wrestling champ there, Kelly Gregg. He looked like he was pinned at the end of that run. He was done. He was working so hard, I was out of breath.
As he takes a seat. 2nd down and goal at the 4. Musa Smith lines up in the slot at the top of your screen. Now he's in motion. McNair in the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Clarence Moore. And that'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
And once again, the Raiders defense has got a chance to step up, and this is once again the 6'6" wide receiver trying to get over the tops of the smaller defensive backs, and McNair just puts a little too much on that. The story of his day today, I think, for McNair, that's what he's going to take away from this game. He just needs to cut it a little finer on his throws. Has not been as accurate as he'd like to be.
Trust me, by the middle of the season, he will be on point. Right now, though, in this half, he's 1 of 8 for 3 yards. 3rd down goal, empty backfield. McNair in the end zone for heat, incomplete. He was under pressure, and they'll bring on the field goal unit.
Tell you what, Gus, the Raiders are probably going to take it on the chin today, but you know what? Their defense is going to walk off this field knowing they played pretty darn well.
Stover, 3 for 3 today, 25, 33, and 37. This is a 23-yarder. And it's good. The Baltimore Ravens extend their lead over the Oakland Raiders. 21-3. Back after this. 13:21 to play here in the 4th quarter. Cook will kick it away. And Carr is back deep for Oakland. Takes a bounce, picked up by Carr at the 10. And he gets all the way to the 35, a 24-yard return. Stopped by Gary Stills. And Andrew Walter trots back onto the field. Came up empty after driving the ball all the way inside the Baltimore 20.
You and I have spoken, Gus. Next week, the Raiders have a bye. And then they host Cleveland. And I'll be shocked if Andrew Walter isn't the guy they put under center against Cleveland in Oakland in 2 weeks.
He should be. Because they play Cleveland and then they'll travel across the bay to take on the 49ers. Walter up the field, picked off. Adalius Thomas, 5th turnover of the day for the Raiders. And the Ravens are in business once again.
You know, I'm not going to put that pick on Walter. Albus Whitted's got to help him out here. This ball's got a chance to be caught. He's either got to come down with it or make sure nobody else does. I know that's a lot to ask, but you know what? You're in the NFL. You got to do everything right. And Albus Whitted could have done a better job on that. Walter's got to put that ball out there. He can't hang on to it. It's got to come out. You got to have your receiver pull it in, and that's the story of the football game right there. 5 turnovers for the Oakland Raiders.
First down at the 43. Musa Smith in the game. McNair down the middle, picked off. Kirk Morrison. Here's Morrison running well. Morrison tackled from behind at the Baltimore 42. A 28-yard return. Kirk Morrison out of San Diego State. He's from Oakland, and they love him in silver and black. So the Raiders force a turnover. 12:56 to play in the 4th quarter. This defense keeps on fighting. Kirk Morrison with the interception, and he gives the Raiders offense their best starting field position of the day at the Baltimore 41.
It's hot today, Gus, and it's going to, late in the game like it is now, it's going to start taking its toll. You can see particularly the Raider defense has been out there a long time. It may be taking its toll.
Justin Fargas in the backfield. Walter to throw to the sideline. That one incomplete. Intended for Whitted. Oglesby covering. Here's another look at the interception.
You watch here the linebackers dropping back into coverage. And that's both linebackers there. That's Robert Thomas along with Morrison. Both cover that. And finally, the inaccuracy that Steve McNair's been battling a little bit today came back to bite him. He threw that ball a little short and a little behind, and it got picked off.
2nd down and 10. Walter to the far side. Beautiful throw. Caught by Curry. He's close to a 1st down. They give him 9.
I'll tell you, Gus, every time Walter has gotten the ball off, he has thrown it on target and put it where it needed to be. He's had trouble when he's had to drop back 7 steps, but when he's dropped back 3 steps and gotten rid of it, they've been pretty successful.
3rd down and 1. Is this 4 down territory for the Raiders?
Oh yeah, no question about it. I think it is.
Lamont Jordan back in the game. They pitch it to Jordan. He turns it up and picks up the 1st down at the 30-yard line. Dewan Landry, the strong safety,
I thought he
brings
got
him down.
I thought he got it too. They spotted that out towards the 31. Now they're going to measure it. I was with you, Gus. I thought he got it easily from our vantage point. A lot of teams don't run the pitch out, Gus, anymore because it doesn't work well with play action, but I like it when they do it. You give it to your guy and stretch the defense immediately and let him pick his spot. A lot of teams don't run the pitch wide, but the Raiders did it right then, and they might have picked up a 1st down.
And they're short. They're short about 2 chain links.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what.
What do you do, Art Shell?
That offense isn't going anywhere. They're staying right where they're at. And it's the right call, Gus. I'm with Art Shell on this one. You give your guys a little bit of confidence. You say, you guys pick it up. And there was no hesitation. It was as though nobody even thought about coming off the field. And this is the play of the game right now for the Raiders offense. This is one thing that'll give them a little bit of self-respect, Gus, after a really tough day at the office.
4th down and inches. Let's see if Walter tries to sneak it. He does. And he picks up the first down. So there's a confidence builder for the Oakland offense.
Well, I mean, that you got to go for it right there, and I like this play. The guy's 6'6", let him jump up and reach over. And he took a shot from Ray Lewis to go down, but I think that's a good play.
He picks up 2 yards. First down and 10 at the Ravens 30. Walter throwing it up top for Randy Moss. And he throws this one out of bounds. A flag on the play.
Now, that pass landed about 10 yards out of bounds. If they call illegal contact, that won't matter. If it's pass interference, it will.
Illegal contact, defense, number 21.
Doesn't matter.
5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And Chris McAllister, once again, that's the second time watch here. And McAllister, and they're at the point defensively where McAllister is kind of trying to jump the route.
Well, no, that's a double move, isn't it?
It is, but he's not backing out of there at all. If Moss gives him something, he knows they've only been successful hitting it short, so he's going to try and jump a route and get an interception. And he's perfectly willing to take the penalty.
First down and 10 at the 25. Lamont Jordan.
Oh,
Kelly Gregg. How about Kelly Gregg? That's a state wrestling champion in the state of Oklahoma. And he just suplexed him.
you said it. You said it. Gus, I'll tell you, it's almost frightening to think about how good this defense has been over the years, and now that they don't have to play the whole game, how good they're going to be in the fourth quarter of a lot of football games.
This Ravens squad has put a lot of teams in the AFC on notice. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, New England, San Diego. Watch out for Baltimore. They're legit. Second and 18 at the 33. Walter down the field for Moss. Incomplete. Moss had to try to make a spectacular catch, and Ed Reed broke it up.
Randy Moss at the end of this play saw Ed Reed coming. He knows it. He wants no part of that pass. He wants absolutely no part of this reception. Forget about it being a spectacular catch. He didn't want that ball.
Third down and 18 at the 33. They need to go to the 15 for a first down. Walter steps up, lets it go, incomplete. And Alvis Whitted was almost decapitated. Alvis Whitted got drilled.
Gus, this is one of those times that happens every so often in the NFL where it's just scary.
Woo!
Scary.
Wow.
Timeout, Oakland.
And the Raiders call a timeout.
I'd take a timeout.
Janikowski attempting a 50-yard field goal, and it's good actually from 51 yards away. Janikowski 0 for 3 from 50 and out last year, and he nails a 51-yarder. So the Raiders make it a 21-6 game. Field goal from Sebastian Janikowski, 21-6, as Janikowski sends it away. Sams will bring it out of his own end zone. And B.J. Sams crosses the 20, gets to the 25. A 30-yard return.
And there comes
and
the
they're
flag.
mixing it up on the sideline, on the Raiders sideline.
I'll tell you what, Gus. I don't care what the score is, Gus. These are big, proud, strong athletes who play for keeps. And no matter how late in the game it is or what the score is, they're going to bring it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, Oakland, number 40. Half the distance to the goal line. I'm sorry, 15-yard penalty.
Gerard Cooper. And it's been the Ravens defense making play after play this afternoon.
Had 5 sacks, Gus, 5 turnovers, and a safety.
Go! Incomplete. Ryan Billick, very calm this season. First down and 10 at the 40. Jamal Lewis fighting for extra yards. Stopped by Howard. Jamal Lewis picks up 8.
And this is one of those times, Gus, when you're a pro football team and in a game when you've got to lead, there comes a time when you've got to line up and run the football when they know you're going to run the football. And Jamal Lewis makes a statement, snapping off a 7-yard run, dragging a guy for 4 yards of it. That is when you know you've got a team that's clicking.
Second down and short. Lewis, 18 carries, 69 yards. Todd Heap in motion. Lewis again. And he won't pick up the first down. Terdell Sands, we've called his name a number of times this afternoon with the tackle. He's had a couple of deflections at the line of scrimmage. Now the tackle. Sands played in Kansas City 2001 and 2002, and in Green Bay in 2003.
He's one of those guys, Gus, that, you know, Rob Ryan for the Raiders loves to have out there. 6'7", 330 pounds. Try and push him, and it's really difficult to do.
Played in the final 9 games of last season. Third down and 1 at the 49. Play action. McNair rolling. Dumps it off Heap. And Todd Heap dropped at midfield. Should have the first down, though, by Thomas Howard. And it's premiere week on CBS. Don't miss the hottest premiere of the season when CSI Miami takes you to the sexiest place on earth. Tomorrow on CBS, America's most watched network.
The thing I think that the Ravens defense noticed about their club last week in that shutout at Tampa Bay was the fact that the offense moved the chains. And at this point in the game, that's exactly what they want to do again. Just move the chains. You don't have to score another point. Just stay on the field.
McNair rolls backside, dumps it off, caught by Justin Green, the fullback. And he goes down quickly. Thomas Howard, only a 1-yard gain. So when you look at this Oakland Raiders squad, yes, they've struggled today as you take another look at the play, but they'll have the bye as we talked about. And then after facing 2 great teams, San Diego and the Ravens, they'll take on 2 poor teams, Cleveland and San Francisco.
Well, there's plenty of reasons to realize that the season is not over for the Raiders if they lose here today. They've got a good defense. Their special teams are playing good. And you and I both believe they'll have a new quarterback when they take the field at home against Cleveland.
Second down and 9. Here's a handoff. And look at that defense once again. Musa Smith running, and he loses 2 yards. This time he's stopped by Isaiah Ekajuba. And I practiced that name all night. Hopefully I said it the right way.
We've got some in this game. Rob Ryan still coaching. I mean, you see the wristband. Now, even the coaches are wearing wristbands these days. It used to be just the quarterbacks.
Not Archell, though. He's old school. He's got a clipboard.
Yes, he is.
Third down and 11 at midfield. Ravens need to go to about the 40. McNair all day. Dumps it off. Nice piece of running after the catch by Mike Anderson. First time we've called his name. Gains 7. Mike Anderson, former Offensive Rookie of the Year and a 1,000-yard rusher with the Denver Broncos in his first season with the Ravens. I tell you what, this Baltimore team has depth at multiple positions.
Let me tell you, they're so deep. If I was on that team, I'd be over my head. I mean, they are really deep at a lot of positions. And this is a club that if it comes together offensively for them, Gus, they really are a contender. They have got it going on. They're deep at a lot of positions. They got all kinds of experience and quality players defensively, and Steve McNair offensively to keep the chains moving. That guy right there, Ray Lewis, raises the level of everybody on that club, and he said to us for the first time when he looks across the field on the other side of the ball at Steve McNair, he sees somebody as good as himself as being a leader.
And how about some of those McNair-Ray Lewis battles when Steve was in Tennessee?
Oh, man.
When the Tennessee Titans would take on the Baltimore Ravens, it was almost a one-on-one matchup. It was Steve McNair against Ray Lewis.
And Ray Lewis, I mean, they had a lot of respect for each other before this season, and even more so now.
Ravens punted away. Cook, who's had a spectacular afternoon. And this one dead inside the 20, actually inside the 15. Sam Cook. What a day. Now don't forget, coming up next, the Patriots take on the Jets. Raiders take over at the 15. Walter. That one sails out of bounds, intended for Curry.
That was a ball that looked like it got away from him. That was a wobbler. And the throws we've seen him make today, they come out smooth and spin nice. That one came out like it got winged.
And look at the time of possession for Oakland this season. 50 minutes, 6 points. But it's only the second game. And they'll have a bye, as we mentioned, and a chance to really work on some things next couple of weeks.
Encroachment, defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Trevor Price jumping across. This is a guy that they got this offseason. He's been to 4 Pro Bowls. And you look, I mean, the Ravens have a knack, Gus, for picking guys, not only veterans who have gas in the tank that are really gonna help them, but finding guys that nobody else knows about who turn into great players. Not good players, great players.
Walter to the sideline, throws a dart. Alvis Whitted with the catch and a first down. Tell you what, this Andrew Walter, he's got some pepper in that arm.
Yeah, he does. He's got a live arm. He's a big guy. He zips that out for an 11-yard gain. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot more of that type of pass as this season progresses. I mean, he's got the arm to take those 7-step drops and get it down the field, but they can't do that if they can't protect him.
Walter, 9 of 20, 135 yards. First down at the 31. Walter near side, and that's incomplete. Had to throw that one across his body. Under pressure, Randall Williams, backup tight end, the intended receiver.
You know, Gus, you talk about the Raven defense and how good they have been. Well, there are reasons for it, and they draft well. Ozzie Newsome, one of the most respected GMs in the league. Look at their draft picks. Not every club can say this. Look at all the Pro Bowls on the right-hand column. They don't miss when they draft guys. They never, ever, it seems, have a bust. No.
That ball incomplete, intended for Whitted. Flag on the play. And Chris McAllister may be called for another
This might be
penalty.
offensive. This might be offensive.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. While the pass is in there,
Yeah.
automatic, first down.
That's McAllister's third penalty of the day.
I think he's got a beef on this one. Alvis Whitted ran right into him, looked like he was going to block for a running play, and McAllister standing there. Watch this. Now this right here, that's legal. No problem. He can do that now. Whitted can't do this.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And right now, McAllister is out of control. And that's what we saw with this Ravens team last year, especially in the game at Detroit. in which they were penalized
and
a number of times.
And they had 2 guys ejected from that game as well.
One bumped an official. McAllister, with his team leading, has to control his emotions. First down and 10 at the 47. Now the Ravens allowing the Raiders to get great field position. Walter down the seam, caught. Oh! Beautiful catch by Williams, who hangs on, and DeJuan Landry drills him, but that's a gain of 28.
That's a nice throw and a nice route right down the middle of the defense. Exactly what you want the tight end to do. That's a great route by Williams. Great catch. He knows he's going to get whacked. Takes the hit, hops up. That's a sharp offensive play right there.
First catch of the day for Williams. First and 10 of the 19. Randy Moss, the receiver at the top of your screen. Here comes a blitz. Walter steps up, lost it. Is it a loose ball?
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Or is it an incomplete pass?
Incomplete pass. The white hat waved it off immediately.
Feel that the quarterback's arm had started forward prior to the contact. Second down.
Bart Scott got to him.
And they just showed the replay up on the big screen, and you can hear the crowd reaction. Let's watch as Walter tries to throw this. Nope.
His arm was not going forward.
That's a fumble. It's not going to matter, though, if they blow the play dead, which I believe they did. And that's a fumble. There's no question about it.
And that's the good old tuck rule that the Raiders are very
rule in New England in a championship game.
Second down and 10 of the 19. Whitted, Moss, the receivers at the top of your screen. James Atkinson at the bottom. Here's Walter. Down the middle. Oh, he had Randy Moss wide open. Randy Moss wide open.
And this, right there at the bottom of your string, takes the outside release right here, and this is just a bad throw. That's just a bad throw, and Walter knew it. He knew as soon as he bent over and started pulling his socks up, that was his fault.
Third down and 10. Atkinson splits wide at the top of your screen. Moss is in the slot on the bottom. Whitted in motion. Walter under pressure, and he throws it away.
Yeah, there was nobody that was supposed to be out in that corner of the end zone. He threw that away just so he wouldn't take the sack. Smart play. I mean, he's just got to get rid of it. The pocket collapsed around him, and he's got to throw it away. It's that simple. The pressure got to him, as has been the case all day.
Andrew Walter has thrown for 163 yards. He's shown a lot of heart, and he's also shown that he has talent. Fourth down and 10 at the 19. They need to go to the 9. Walter steps up over the middle, incomplete. Make it in the corner as Whitted, the intended receiver. And the Raiders turn it over on downs.
You know, you think about, Gus, what happens around the NFL, and Art Shell's going to evaluate this game on film. He's going to look at Andrew Walter. And I'll tell you what, you look around the NFL, there'll be a lot of other starting quarterbacks that will not have had as good a game as Walter did today.
And that's what Warren Sapp is telling him right now. Young fella, you did fine. Don't worry about it. And you like to see that frustration from Walter. That means he cares about what's going on.
He's cares, and he expects more of himself. A quarterback's supposed to be that way.
So Steve McNair back in the game at the 20. And they hand it off Musa Smith. And Musa Smith gets back to the 25. Schweigert with the tackle. 5-yard gain. So we were talking to some of the Raiders officials before the, well, actually yesterday during second down and 5. Musa. And a flag on the play.
Holding, offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That play actually got hurt in practice during the week. When you talk about things going from bad to worse, they struggled in protection last week against San Diego, gave up 9 sacks, and then they lose their best offensive lineman, Robert Gallery, during the week. They really came in here limping.
McNair slings it out, and it's caught by Mark Clayton. Nice yards after the catch. Clayton knocked out of bounds at the 43 by Dwayne Starks. First reception of the day for Mark Clayton. First down and 10 at the 44. Handoff, Musa Smith with running room. Cuts it inside and goes down at the 40. Stuart Schweigert with the tackle, but it's a gain of 16.
Catching up to the Raider defense right now with less than 3 minutes to go. I think they finally started to feel their age.
First down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Musa Smith. He gets to the 34, 6-yard gain. Dwayne Starks with the tackle. Jonathan Ogden out of the lineup, folks. He injured his knee. Adam Terry, number 78, is at left tackle. And he's come in and done a fine job replacing the 9-time Pro Bowler.
And Jonathan Ogden, you see there walking around. He came off the field under his own power, a little help, but tried to do a few things on the sideline to see if he could play. But let's face it, you don't want to take a chance with him.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Ravens on top of the Raiders, 21-6. Back to Baltimore after this. BS Sports. 2nd and 4. They hand it to Mike Anderson. Here comes Mike Anderson. Can he get there? Yes, touchdown, Ravens, 34 yards.
Gus, we said it a minute ago. The time of possessions, the 5 turnovers, the hot day, sooner or later was going to take its toll on Rob Ryan's defense, and it finally did. And you know what? The Raider defense deserved better.
The extra point is up and good. Mike Anderson with a 34-yard touchdown run.
Gus, you said it a minute ago. This is a former NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he almost had 1,500 yards as a runner. You know he knows what to do with the rock in his hands. Right there, watch the vision. He's going to take this on a counter and go right back through. Great run in traffic, great vision, and it's a foot race with fresh legs.
Mike Anderson, his first carry of the day, a 34-yard touchdown, and that'll make you smile. Remember back in 2000, that's when he was the Rookie of the Year. Rushed for close to 1,500 yards, had 15 touchdowns.
Came to the NFL out of the military. So he was a little more mature than most guys coming into the league, and it shows.
Ray Lewis with some words of encouragement for Mike Anderson. And one thing about this Ravens squad, and you have to credit Ozzie, they have great character players.
We went to their facility on Friday, and Gus, the whole atmosphere was one of, we are in it together. And that is a rare thing in today's NFL. They are all in it together, and you can tell when they hit the field, they're playing for each other.
Here's Carr. 5 yards deep, elects to take it out. And he goes down at the 25. To go on a break a little further than he'd like and accept the criticism.
The thing I like about him, too, is he challenges his players, if they're not happy, to come and talk to him. He knows that if they have a problem, he's got an answer for them. He's not afraid to sit there with a player and tell them exactly why things are the way they are.
Walter Down the field. And it's intercepted. Ronnie Prude. Watch him run. Prude at the 30. Prude at the 20. Out of bounds at the 15. Ronnie Prude, the rookie. Free
and half speed.
A 54-yard return. Last time the Raiders had 6 turnovers in a game, 1989 at Denver. 1st and 10, and now Steve McNair will take a knee. Our producer today, Vic Frank. Our director, Andrew Goldberg. Art Shell will go back to the drawing board. The Raiders will have 2 weeks to prepare for Cleveland.
And Gus, 2 weeks in a row to start their season, the Raiders are going to have a lopsided score, but this week they have a little more reason to be optimistic about some of the things that went right for them. Their defense did play well despite the score. And they found out something about Andrew Walter that they didn't know last week.
And how about the Baltimore Ravens? Steve McNair welcomed with open arms here in Baltimore as the leader on offense.
And he's going to get better. I mean, there's no question he was inaccurate and had some problems in his passing game. He just couldn't put the ball in his receivers. But all that stuff is pretty correctable. All the kind of raggedy play early on in the game, man, they're going to get that cleaned up.
But thank goodness that man is back. Ray Lewis, healthy, energetic. The Baltimore Ravens improved to 2-0. They'll head to Cleveland next week to take on the Browns. 28-6 the final. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader. You've been watching the National Football League on CBS. For Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson. So long from the Charm City.